fellow crocheters, this is Arlene. I'm back. I recently showed you how to make the button bracelet, so now I'm going to make the button earrings to match it. And here's what you're going to need. We're going to mount the button earring on a ring, on a metal ring. This is a 2-inch ring, and this button is about a 3/4 size button, 3/4 of an inch. And the button is going to go in the middle of the ring. We're going to crochet around the button and mount it onto the ring. So I kind of did a project like this similar to this one before. It is in one of my videos in my channel, so you can go and hunt for it if you like. You're going to need a blunt needle to sew in your ends, and 2 ear wires with 4 jump rings. You're going to need 2 jump rings for each earring, and of course some scissors to cut. And I'm going to be using a 1.25 millimeter hook and some number 10 crochet thread. So we're going to put our loop inside of on our needle, and just the same way we did for the bracelet, we're going to do for the earring. We're going to crochet in all of the buttonholes. We're going to put 4 single crochets in all of the buttonholes, and this is going to dance around like this, so you're going to have to hold the thread like right about here and get the hook around it, pull it through, and try not to have your tension so tight. You don't want this to be too tight. You don't want it to be too loose either. And you're gonna sort of do like that. Okay, so we're gonna do that in each hole 4 times. So that's 1, and this is 2, and this is 3, and 4. As the more stitches you put in a hole, it gets filled. So this is why you have to have a needle that's not too large and a thread that's not too thick. So the number 10 thread seems to be working just fine. So let's move on to the next buttonhole. That's 1. Oops. And this is 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to repeat this process in the next 2 buttonholes. Don't try to go too fast on this project, because if you try to go too fast, you're going to get slips, and the thread is going to run away from you. So just take your time. Take your time, because it's not a fast project. How many did we get in there? That's 2, 4, 6. Okay, we need 1 more. And now we move into the next one. Once we finish doing all of this, we're going to slip stitch it. Did I split my thread? I think I split my thread. Well, actually my thread is a little, my thread has a little bit of damage in it, right about there. So I'm just gonna try to do it anyway. Okay, so that's 1. Oops. 2, 3, and my thread split again. And this is 4. Okay, so we're going to slide everything over. If you're doing this and you might have done it too tight and it doesn't reach, you can try to put one more in there, and then before you slip stitch you can put another one in here. That might be able to help you close this little gap here. So we're going to slip stitch, like so. Okay, so now we're chaining 1, and we're going to half double crochet in the first stitch, and we're going to put 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. And then 1 in the next, and 2 in the next, 1 in the next, and 2 in the next. One in the next, and 2 in the next. Gonna keep repeating this. Try to keep up with these stitches. Sometimes after they're made, it's hard to tell how many you have in there. I'm gonna put 2 for good measure, and then 1 in the next. Two in this one. 1 in this one. Okay, so we're gonna continue repeating 1 in one, 2 in the next, sort of like that, 1 on and 1 off, until we go all the way around, and then we're going to slip stitch, and we're going to repeat the same thing again. One half double crochet in the next, and 2 in the next. One in the next. So I just finished my second round on the button, and this is what it looks like. I'm getting ready to slip stitch my second round. This is how the button looks like. You know, I have a little gap there. And this is the back of the button. So according to what I'm looking at, I think I'm gonna need to do another round so that I'll be able to crochet around the ring. It's still too small and it doesn't reach. So I'm gonna slip stitch here, and I'm going to chain 1 and do another round. This time I don't have to do 1 and then 2 in the next stitch. I'm just going to do 1 half double crochet around each stitch. This would be round 3, and this all depends on the size of your button. If the button is bigger, the less rounds you have to do on the button. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of my 3rd round. I'm going to slip stitch, and I'm going to pull my loop out a little because I want to remove my needle so that I can mount my ring on, and you want the ring to fall right in between this loop and the thread that's in your hand, your crocheting thread. So we're going to put our needle back in there, and we're going to chain like this, and right in that same chain we're going to add our first single crochet right around the ring, and then in the next stitch we're going to put 2. You're going to do another one in that same stitch. You're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch that's on the button. So it might look like it's not enough, but as you go around, this starts to stretch and it gets around the ring, and it eventually starts getting a little tighter, but it's still doable. Now if you think for some reason that it's not going to be possible, then just add another ring if your button is smaller than this size. This is a 3 1/4 size button, 3/4 of an inch button. So if it's smaller than that, you have to crochet the appropriate amount of rounds. It's a trial and error thing sometimes. Sometimes we just have to undo our work so we can get a better outcome. So this is how we're going to continue crocheting around the ring. Okay, so as you can see, it's starting to get a little tight. I'm going to keep inching my way around until I get all of these stitches on the ring. That's 1 and 2. As you go crocheting, you go sliding your stitches around like this. And you're going to start needing to pull on your stitch a little bit just to make sure it's on there. And I want you to put 2 in each stitch. You can also try 3 in each stitch if that'll complete the mission. Okay, we don't have that many left, so it looks like it's going to be a success on my end. And that's how it looks so far. That's 1, we need 1 more there. And we're going to put one more right there just so that it'll cover that little bar right there, the metal part. You don't really want a bald spot in the middle of it. Okay, so now we're going to slip stitch in this first stitch here. Which one is it? It's that one. And one chain for good measure. Make sure it stays secure. And now you can fasten off. And this is what the earring looks like. So we're going to fasten off. And what we're going to do now is on the smaller button, we're going to do the same thing we did to the larger button. Okay, so I finished my small button and I covered it only with one round. And what I'm doing now is I'm taking the two strands of the loose ends and I'm going to sew them in. First I'm going to even them out so I can put them on the needle at the same time and get two birds with one stone. So I'm going to take my blunt needle and I'm going to thread both ends. And I'm going to hide away on the back part. If you don't want to sew this in and you have some really good glue that dries clear, you can cut it right about there and you can just glue it down and it'll just look like that. I did it to my last one because I accidentally cut this thread too short to sew it in. So I had to glue it down. So you can do that if you like. It worked out just fine. So I'm just going to take my needle and try to go underneath these stitches here. Not too far from where the original one is. Like this. And I'm just going to pull up a few stitches like that. And I'm going to pull it through. And then I'm going to anchor it and I'm going to go back the other way just so that it won't come out. And I'm going to lift that up like that and go the other way. And that should do it. We're going to cut that. So now we're just going to take our jump ring and mount the two pieces together. First I'm going to clean up my ends on this piece. These are two kind of far away, so they're far away from each other. One end is all the way over here, so I'm going to bring this one next to this end. And I'm going to wiggle my way around these stitches until I get to the bottom. Where's my... Okay. Where is it? Over here? Okay, let me go this way. And when I get close enough to tie them together, that's what I'm going to do. So now we take our jump ring. Oh, and of course, when you're working with jump rings, you might need some pliers. So let me show you what pliers I'm using. I use this guy. I forget the name of him right now, but this is the wider head and this is the small head. And I take the jump ring, and with the open end up, I take the skinny plier vertical and the wider plier, horizontal, and I just open it up a little bit, and I'm going to place my button here. So you want your earring facing the same way. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the earring first because it makes it much easier. And then when we do this, when you're placing it, make sure it's facing forward. It's going to face forward once you close the jump ring. So if I place it down like this, it's going to be facing up this way, and that's the back of the button. So you want to make sure that you're going to hook it on through the same size. So now my button is, the back of my button is facing me, so that when I turn it up, it'll be on the right side. So I'm going to hook this on there like that, and kind of hold it, because if your jump ring is a little small, it might try to jump off. So we're just going to secure it with our plier. This doesn't look focused to me. Okay. We're going to secure it with our plier, and we're just going to close it the same way we opened it. And that way when you flip it up, your earring, both of your buttons are facing each other, the right side of the button. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing to get our ear wire on there. And you want to make sure you get the top middle of this button. That way your earring won't dangle crooked. And there you have it. That's your earring. So now hold your earring up like this and see if you, when you put it on your ear, if it's going to land the way you want it to. What I normally do is I take this little neck right here and I twist my ear wire away from me. I hold the front facing me and I twist my ear wire away from me. That way when I put the earring on my ear, the right side of the earring is facing outward. Sort of like the back of the earring is going to be touching my face. And we just straighten this out. And of course I can do this because I'm using stainless steel ear wires and jump rings. These ear wires, when they're stainless steel, they're a little stronger than the other less expensive ones. I used to do this with the less expensive ones, and then they would break right here at the neck, and I had to mount the ear wire back on again. So that's why I started using the stainless steel wires. So there's your earring. I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoy this video. I really enjoyed making this project. I'm going to put the link to the bracelet, the button bracelet, in the description box, so look for it, okay? Thank you for watching.